You know, I tried to warn you guys. I tried. I gave it my all, even though I'm not a Nintendo YouTuber. I care about my viewers. I don't want them to get their expectations and hopes up, and I tried to warn you that you probably shouldn't be expecting a June Nintendo Direct. But of course, I was called names. RGC, you're stupid. You're overreacting. Other YouTubers made videos about how I was wrong, and there's definitely going to be a Nintendo Direct. But now, with yet another piece of critical evidence put into the submission file for the case for the June Nintendo Direct, I think we can all pretty much agree at this point in time, the dream is dead. And that pains me to say. Trust me, I want there to be a Nintendo Direct. Let's get that out of the way here. I want a full Nintendo Direct because I can cover it. I can make videos about the presentation itself. I could talk about the games individually afterwards if they really interest me. But I think the dream for a full-on Nintendo Direct is completely dead. Could there be a partner showcase or something like that? Maybe, like, we'll get into that in just a minute. But where is this all coming from? That's what we're going to sort of break down in this video today. Of course, this all started a couple days ago when Nintendo made two surprising announcements on Twitter about upcoming Nintendo-related things, both releasing on June 30th. We have some new pastel-colored JoyCons, which, like I said back then, probably would have been better done in the springtime, because when I think of spring, I think of pastel colors. Summers are usually darker and warmer oranges and reds and stuff like that. But hey, you know, Nintendo's always a little bit behind the times. Let's be real about it. So it kind of makes sense that these would come out later than they probably should have. I think they look fine. I'm not a Joy-Con collector by any stretch of the imagination. I don't care about Joy-Cons and various Joy-Con colors as long as they function right and, you know, hopefully don't have any stick drift on them and the typical Joy-Con drift that has happened to me, I think twice or three times now. I'm happy with them. So if you're excited for these, be excited for these. And then of course, we had the other announcement of an actual video game, a first-party game from Nintendo coming out on June 30th with everybody's 1-2 Switch. And it was a huge announcement. I mean, they just went all the way over the top with revealing all of this sort of stuff with the game. They didn't reveal a damn thing, okay? You even go over to the website page and there's like the picture with like the horse, and I don't like horses, and I guess he's like the host of this, so really no reason for me to like this game whatsoever. You can use your cell phone on it, you know, very Omika-ish or Amica-ish, Amico, whatever the hell it's called. I can't think right now. I'm just very annoyed with the fact that this is actually a game, because 1-2 Switch, it wasn't good. I didn't think it was good when it first came out. I played it and I was like, I don't really like this. Like, it's a tech demo for the Joy-Cons and the system itself. And that's all this game really was. It tried to be a party game, and everybody's 1-2 Switch looks to sort of capitalize on the party aspect of this game. But obviously Nintendo has absolutely no faith in this game. If you're releasing a game a month before or a month after it's announced, okay, with no gameplay footage, one image on your website about it, no trailers, no nothing, you have no hope for this game. You have no expectations. So with those two big announcements, I was pretty much like, all right, you know, it's obvious nothing's gonna happen this month. But some people thought that this made it a better chance, that there would be a better chance for a Direct because of these announcements and getting these announcements out of the way for the good stuff. And oh, Padawans, you know, I might be an idiot with some things, but I think I do a decent job of analyzing the video game industry, because that was spelling doomsday. And now we kind of have the final nail in the coffin, because yesterday, on Tuesday, we had a new little trailer for Pikmin, and it was a minute-plus trailer for this game, and Pikmin 4, I mean, that was it. You know, everyone was assuming that Pikmin 4 was going to get, you know, some big on presentation, and it still might. Like, I guess there's still a chance for this, but they thought that Pikmin 4 was an indicator of a Nintendo Direct, because we still didn't know a lot about that game. There was still some mystery surrounding it, and obviously with this game coming out in July, they would have something to talk about at their Direct. But Nintendo crushed your hopes. They crushed your dreams by releasing this trailer, because now they could just follow it up with another trailer in a couple weeks and be absolutely done with this game. Pikmin is a niche game. Let's be realistic here, people. It's not a billion seller like other things on the system, and like, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with niche games, but niche games are not going to drive a Nintendo Direct. So what does this mean? What does this mean for Nintendo? Because Pikmin 4 is the last Nintendo Switch game that has a release date. The only other game that we know of for the Switch, which I still don't think is coming out for the Switch, is Metroid Prime 4, which I definitely feel like that has, eclipsed this console generation and is moving on to the next thing. And what is going to happen? I was told, people told me there's not going to be this down period. Oh, Nintendo's it's not going to be like the same situation with the Wii where there was like a gap of products. And then as far as, bigger titles are concerned, and then the Wii U came out to save everything. We're not going to have a year like we did after Skyward Sword came out on the Wii and was really Nintendo's last big game on the system. No, they're going to learn from those mistakes. And that's the thing about some companies. They don't really learn from their mistakes. They rely on their hubris. They rely on their, their inability to sort of realize how they're repeating similar things. And every company has made mistakes, and obviously there's been parallels to other things with these companies where you could sort of be like, oh, this kind of reminds me of this. And honestly, this definitely reminds me of the Wii to Wii U situation. I'm not saying that it's going to be as dire as that is concerned, because obviously the Switch is still selling. The Wii wasn't selling whatsoever. The Switch is at least still selling. Software is still selling well if you're particular games. And I feel like there's more stuff that they can do in terms of remasters and remakes. Like if they came out with like a Wind Waker, Twilight Princess double pack that came out this fall or holiday season, F-Zero GX remake, this fall or holiday season, kind of to tide people over until the big stuff that comes out on the next system, which hopefully releases in 2024 comes out, then yeah, I think that would be good for a lot of people. I know I would be happy with that to at least some degree. You have third parties filling in the gaps, and that's sort of where this idea that there still could be a third party direct. I definitely think you could get something like that. I think that there's probably enough stuff, enough partner games that they could showcase, probably a lot of Japanese based style games in terms of art style, in terms of the games themselves, probably some RPGs and stuff like that. But hopefully they can have some of the Western games as well, just to give it sort of a balance. But I don't think you're getting a full-on Nintendo Direct this month, and I think this pretty much proves it. I don't know if you're getting a showcase. I don't even know if a September Nintendo Direct is a lock. This reminds me a lot of the COVID year, where you had these little partner showcase, you had these indie worlds, you had Nintendo Direct mini presentations, you had like the Super Mario 3D All-Stars, direct presentation and stuff like that. Everything was very different because of how the world was, but maybe that was just what Nintendo had planned all along. Maybe that was the design plan all along, that, hey, we're going to have this little bit of a lull period and we'll have some games come out and then, we'll get back to status quo. It worked. That's the thing. Nintendo, I think, is looking at that and they're like, okay, well, we had the big game. It's very similar. You had the big game. What was the big game then? Animal Crossing. Okay. It was selling hand over fist. Tears of the Kingdom, selling hand over fist. And then you just had smaller supplemental titles throughout the rest of the year. And then the next year, you kind of went back into full motion. You do a February Nintendo Direct in 2024 with like new hardware or something like that, or showcasing the new hardware that you already previously announced. And then that comes out in the summer or the winter of 2024. It's a whole different ball game. But I think it's time to strap in. I think it's time to strap in and realize that the Switch is winding down. This is the longest running, if we're just talking about home consoles, this is by far the longest running Nintendo home console ever. Look it up if you don't believe me. By far, without a successor being talked about, announced, or unveiled. It's going to be very interesting to see how Nintendo handles this situation, because they haven't been in a situation like this before, where it's a situation where, you had a very successful thing, but you're having a drop-off period because of the fact that you're not really producing software for this system anymore, because you're having to focus on the next thing. But when do you announce the next thing? When do you showcase the next thing? Are you worried about cannibalizing Switch sales? And when the hell is the Switch going to go on sale as far as a reduced price point as well to, inflate those numbers up? Like, you could hit some of these numbers that you're wanting to hit with your investors meeting. So it's going to be a crazy time. It's going to be a very crazy time. But let me know in the comments section down below what you think of all of this. Are you still clinging on to hope that there's going to be a June Nintendo Direct? Because, you shouldn't be. At this point, you just shouldn't be. It's not good for your health. Lay off the copium. accept it. Buy another platform if you're bored with the Switch or something. Like there's other platforms out there. Play games on your PC. Buy an emulation rig. I've got videos on that. I've got more videos coming up about it. Let me know what you think of all this in the comments section down below. And as always, guys, thank you for checking out this video. If you are new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button, like, comment, and share. Hit the bell as well. And as always, I'll catch you guys on the next video. Later.